Hello, cartoon fanatics. RJ here. And you know what I really love? Passion projects. That is my stuff. Anytime someone goes out there and gives it their all, and no matter what is going against them, they put the thing together that they care about so much, I love that. I always root for those people, even if what they create isn't quite my cup of tea. And I'd say that's been the thing with Hazbin Hotel. The pilot episode came out on YouTube on October 28th, and everyone's going bonkers about it, reacting to it, reviewing it, and I knew I had to throw my hat into the mix and discuss it. So here you go, my unedited thoughts on Hazbin Hotel, and from the get-go, I give it thumbs up just for the fact that it's a completely independent work. It's not connected with any direct studio. It's just a group of people getting together and creating something that they want to make. And all credit, all respect to them, because that is something that is really hard to do. And while the internet does provide a platform to do so, it can be really hard for your voice to be heard in the midst of everyone else also trying to make their voices be heard. So just the fact that they've made an impact and so many people are excited about the content they've made, even though it's one single 30-minute pilot, is fantastic. Also, the animation in this is super fluid. You can tell that the people working on it really cared about the medium. They took the time and effort to make sure things flowed nicely. There were lots of details. In every single frame, there was something going on. Even in the midst of the background, you could just tell this is something that you could rewatch and find things in the background that you wouldn't have seen the first couple of times. There's the main storyline going on, which is also a very intriguing concept. We've got all these demons down below, and our titular character here, Charlie, is trying to make this hotel to rehabilitate and be able to redeem demons to go up to heaven. It's an interesting concept because when push comes to shove, we don't really know much about heaven and hell. It's an afterlife, and a lot of people aren't even sure if this afterlife even exists. So to make it as a concept for a cartoon is a pretty risque move. And I think it's one that could have only been done by an independent team and not through a major studio. Because with a major studio, there would have probably been lots of kinks along the way in trying to either make it appropriate for kids or trying to ramp it up more for adults. But this it teeters on the borderline between having pleasant animation that you tend to associate with kids' cartoons, but also having very adult conversations, but not having it so over the top that the vulgar language is unwelcome. At least in the pilot episode, it doesn't feel unwelcome. Because that's usually my biggest thing when I think about adult content. And we kind of went through this a couple of times when we reviewed the Happy Time Murders. That was a similar situation. Saying curse words doesn't constitute as a decent adult film. You got to have other things to it. And this whole concept as a whole is just so wild and wacky, and it all flows together really nicely. The characters are all very distinct and interesting. I'm not 100% behind on the character designs, but that's more of a personal preference. I usually make things round and squishy, and the sharp edges on things are appropriate for the setting, and it does fit the whole aesthetic. I don't know. The character design's kind of winning me over as time goes on. But when I initially looked at it, my eyes kind of had a hot mess of things going on. But my eyes are kind of a hot mess to begin with, so maybe that doesn't entirely matter. Right off the bat, before I even watched the pilot, Charlie was one of my favorite characters, just for her overall character design. When they put those out, I really enjoyed that. And also her struggle to try and redeem demons that don't actually care about being redeemed.
Why does anyone do anything? Sheer absolute boredom!
It's an interesting conflict for this character, and it'll be cool to see if they're able to make more episodes, how she grows with that over time. Hopefully they will be able to make more episodes because it's receiving a pretty positive response overall. But one of the characters threw me for a loop. I did not think I would enjoy this character because I wasn't a big fan of the design, and I wasn't a big fan of the adult themes, but Angel Dust. Man, I loved Angel Dust, and I'm not quite sure why. Maybe I have a secret twisted side of me, I don't know. But this character is just so fun to watch. Again, I was saying the sharp edges on these designs I'm not huge fans of, but for somehow it just worked with Angel Dust in the way that this character moves. And even though Angel Dust says all of this crazy raunchy stuff, it fits with this character, and it's done in a way that's humorous. It never feels out of place within this pilot, I could say. And I have enjoyed raunchier characters in the past. I've reviewed Rick and Morty in the past before, but there's been a couple of times in Rick and Morty episodes where the stuff there seems like it's been overdone. But with Angel Dust, every time this character was on screen, there was always something just delightfully wonderful that came out of the character's mouth. And it always had some kind of sexual implication, and it was just kind of rude and adultish, and it was just, I don't know, there was something so oddly charming and horrible about that character at the same time, and I absolutely loved it. The pilot episode is up on their YouTube page. It's through, I'm totally gonna mispronounce, VVC Pop, Vivian Pop, one of those. Just look up Hazbin Hotel Pilot. It'll show right up. Just make sure to watch the actual thing before you watch the floods of reactions that are also connected to it at the moment. But yeah, it's a great animation. It's fun to watch. The plot is interesting. So hopefully we'll be able to see the team crank out some more episodes in the future, because this was a definite joy to watch. And that's all for me. So yeah, that's all I'm going to say. I don't really want to do my usual outro on this. I guess press that like button. You know what to do. Why do we have to constantly say it? If you know what to do, why is that a thing? You know what? I'm dropping it. I'm ending it here. You know what to do if you like the video. That's it. I'm done.